For the thousands in attendance and the millions watching around the world, we are live and amplified. So let's get ready to podcast.
Fire it up.
I love it, and I love the acoustic sessions you've been doing. The MXL sessions, a real good sound with those artists you're doing.
Yeah, we've been doing those for a while. The MXL thing was about about a year and a half ago, I guess, at this point.
Okay.
They sent us a bunch I strategically started posting some of our early stuff up on LinkedIn.
Okay.
And so the idea was, I knew what I was going to do, so I started adding people from MXL because that's always been the mics we've used. A, because they're affordable.
Mhm.
B, they sound really good.
Yeah.
So I was like, okay, cool. And I started adding people from MXL on my LinkedIn page. And then I would just casually post our videos,
Mhm.
thinking maybe somebody important would see it. Sure enough, a week in, the director of sales reaches out and is like, hey, we like your videos. Can we send you new microphones? And I'm like, yeah.
I'm like, yeah.
I'm not going to say no. Actually, that's where this one came from. I'm not going to lie. Some of the mics they sent us aren't the best mics. They were like new products. They were trying to find like something that competes with like the Shure SM58 and stuff like that. But
Yeah.
it's like, you can't really compete with that mic. That is like such an industry standard mic.
That's
you're not going to compete with it.
Not going to compete. Yeah, I have my 58 here, just like a Radio Shack or a knockoff, but then I like to use this RE320 as well, just sort of for like, it's like a bass drum mic, but one of the off-label uses is like the sound of radio in a sense, right?
Yep, absolutely. It's always interesting. My sound engineer, when we're out recording, he finds new ways and new ways to use different mics. Like we found, or there was this one mic. It's a Rode mic. I forget what the actual name of it is, but we bought it just because we needed as many mics as we could. We didn't really know what we were going to do with it, but it was $40 brand new. We'll figure it out. And we open it, and it's like, okay, maybe we can use this for like bass drum, like to mic a bass drum or something like that.
Mhm.
And then we start doing bluegrass music, and now it is the best mic that we have to mic upright basses.
Yes.
And so it's like, we have this, like, the only reason we still have it in our kit is to mic an upright bass and no other reason.
Oh, I love that.
So like it's kind of funny because it's like, it takes up so much room in our kit, but we use it for one specific person or one specific reason, and we can't find another mic to duplicate it. So
I love it.
It is. But so I think we're going to just keep rolling with it since we've kind of been chatting a little bit. How are things been going, man? How's LA treating you? LA's been in my radar for a while because I got a lot of friends that live out there, and you guys are in lockdown, not in lockdown.
Yes, I love living in Los Angeles. I actually just got to go to the Hollywood sign for the first time today. It's funny. We took a hike up there, and I had never gone there, but there weren't a lot of people out there. The people who had masks on and were socially distanced. So yes, we're on a lockdown. We're basically on a lockdown. But I think last time I talked to you, we were playing a lot of live streaming and less busking. We've been doing more busking now, and live streaming while we busk and stuff. But now, so that people don't get scared, we have giant things to collect the money. So you know what I mean? We got masks on, so people don't freak out. Like, we'll wear these like butterfly nets and pool nets, and people get to throw the money in there. Like, this one extends pretty long too. So,
Nice.
we got masks on and we're out there, and we also have a sign with Venmo. So if the car doesn't want to roll their window down, they can throw to our Venmo sign and support the band or see our
Mhm.
Instagram, so we've been doing that a lot.
That's awesome. Yeah, that was I remember shortly after we had you on last time, um, I started paying attention to your live streaming, and I think you were still in LA at this point, but you were busking and live streaming on an intersection or at an intersection.
Yeah, exactly. That's basically what we do at freeway off ramps.
Or what was kind of who was the brain or who birthed that idea? I guess is the most appropriate question.
Yeah, that's a really good question. Well, I started busking when I was 12, and
Oh,
the band had a busking history. Band started 15 years ago, and we always busked on the streets, which is street performing. But the off ramp particular came from a guy named Patrick Norris, who's actually on our CD here. He's
hmm,
he's this guy up in this top corner. See, I'm in the
yeah,
middle, and that's the guy who birthed the idea.
nice.
Uh, because he always said that performing on the off ramp for cars is always going to generate a lot more revenue than for foot traffic. And I was too afraid to go do that, and I associated with homeless people or begging or things I didn't want to be, and my ego associated with. But once I got over all what I self-importance, I went out and stood there, played music, had a great time, and the money really was better than foot traffic, so got hooked on it and moved here to a specific off ramp out here 6 years ago from Portland, because it was
Mhm.
raining most of the year in Portland,
Yeah.
and here it's sunny, so we could busk at the off ramp all year here. So it's been 6 years basically at the same off ramp out here in LA. And Bill Burr tipped us twice last week, and we've gotten to know him over the last. It's been really cool. It's just
Oh,
like
nice.
6 years at the same off ramp, and all of a sudden Bill Burr's here. It's
Yeah,
crazy. It's
that's
crazy.
funny. I Bill Burr is probably my favorite comedian that's out right now. It's
Really,
like
ours too. It's awesome.
I've just really started getting into F is for Family.
Yes.
And so it was one of those things I don't know if you know, but we're launching a radio show in Roswell, New Mexico.
Live and
Uh
Amplified is?
yeah, Live and Amplified is.
Yes.
And so we got tapped to do like it's a traditional rock radio show. Like you think of just a rock radio show, that's
Okay.
what we're doing. And so I was out in Roswell, um, and we're cutting like the pilot episode because we're gonna have to do it on tape delay just because of the current layout of everything and where all the people are at.
Hmm.
And so I was out in Roswell, and the night after we were kind of done with everything, my buddy is like, "Hey, have you ever seen F is for Family?" I'm like, "Nah." I mean, I know Bill Burr's in it, but I've never like sat down to watch it. He's like, "Dude, you got to watch it." So we took a crazy edible, watched F is for Family, and yeah, that was kind of the end of it, and I've been watching it ever since. I've about halfway through the fourth season, which I think is the most current one, if I'm not mistaken.
That's awesome. Yeah, I don't know. I've seen little bits, but I absolutely I adore Bill Burr and everything he does. It's hilarious.
Yeah, it's really good. But so you've been doing. I think the last time we had you on, you had just released your album, your most recent album.
That's right.
Um, or did you just release a single? I'm trying to think now. How long has it been?
Well, it was
Uh,
both. It was both. You're right. You're right, because it was our album, our first album, which took us 7 years. Water Tower Fly Around, and we had done 6 albums under our old name, Water Tower Bucket Boys, but we
yeah,
kicked the bucket and all that. So yes, but then I also released a single under my rapper alter ego 182 Water.
yeah,
So there was first single being released there and first album. So you're right.
got it. Awesome. So what's kind of been the response from the album?
Oh man, it's been so cool. It just I couldn't have hoped for a better response. Just so many people like enjoying the music, reaching out, and being able to build a family around the music, and people who enjoy the music, and healing and friendship, and more music. Most importantly, more music is in friendships, which to me is the most important thing, is the community that comes out of the music. And so yeah, just getting to share this has been really cool in building community. The owls, we call them.
Mhm.
Got another owl here, but
Yeah.
you know
Nice. Uh, and how did the fan base kind of get the nickname of the Owls? Because I've heard you call them that previously, and I've always been kind of curious where that kind of nickname came from.
That's a good question. You know, it was definitely a newer, I'd say a more quarantine type nickname. You know, it used to be Tower Heads or
Yeah,
things like that. And we have the Facebook group Tower Heads Unite. You know, and so people will be Tower Heads. But the owl thing specifically came from the quarantine because all of a sudden we're live streaming every day, sometimes
yeah,
twice a day. We used to do at 12 and 5 at one point, deep in the quarantine. And what I would do is I would go around my room, and I don't know if you could see this room, which we call Water Tower Corporate. There's instruments, right? So
yeah,
I would film the instruments at walking around the room, and at the very end, there were these owls on the shelf right back there. There's even a couple. You can even see a couple more, but there's just a bunch of owls they've been sending these to us now. But
yeah.
the original owl, it was the last thing when I would say bye. It was the last thing they would see. So kind of just made sense to say owl out as put the phone there. It
Yeah.
just happened totally naturally, and then everyone started catching on to it, and now the whole team has become the Owls. It's a beautiful story.
Nice. That's really cool. You know, it's really cool when there's like an actual origin story and it just comes naturally and it's not like a forced thing, like that's like a branding thing or something. Whereas if you call them like the tower heads or the water heads or the, like, whatever it is,
Exactly.
it kind of feels like a forced branding thing. But like something like the owls, it's just something that happened naturally every time you would log off a live stream. So no, that's really cool.
Thank you.
Um,
Yeah, it's part of family. It feels like family now.
Yeah, absolutely. And which is really grown since the last time we had you on. Like I've just kind of been paying attention and seen the fan base grow and like watching you actually getting out and doing I don't want to call it like a full-blown tour, but you went out and actually like got out and did like busking on the road and played music outside of LA.
Yes, exactly. It's like technically it's a tour, but it's not like anyone would think as a tour. It's nothing to be scared about because I
Yeah.
know when the tour word comes out, there's a lot of mixed feelings in. But the thing about it was normally when we were tour, we go out as a 7-piece band. What Juice and I went out, the two of us, we get tested regularly, masks on, outdoor, basically going across it, and we didn't let anyone know. We didn't promote it. We were going to see our friend essentially, like when we come to see you, we're going to just come see you, but we're going to play a few places along the way. And,
Yeah.
we might make a post that morning or the night before, but it's all going to be real mellow and not big gatherings or anything.
Yeah, absolutely. And when you do a busking tour, let's call it,
Yeah.
are you how do you kind of plan that out? Are you just kind of like you just set a final destination and it's like wherever you feel like stopping in the meantime, or
That's a good point. It can be that. It has been that, but we
uh
actually we do a little bit of planning. We look at a map and we go by friends and owls essentially.
mhm.
And we find it. Last time we did call a couple of venues who hadn't had live music in a while, but are doing outdoor seating and stuff like a couple of venues who used to have music, and we're like, hey, we're driving by, we're a band. Just wonder if we could, and a couple of venues a lot of venues are starving for music. So just trying to be creative about
Mhm.
ways to make revenue happen and pay for the gas on the way.
Yep.
And that's kind of how we always did it anyway. So the only difference is that we're not really putting any money into promotion, and we're
Yeah.
not, we just don't want to announce it. We just want to go spread music because it's what we do, but
Yeah.
also see our friends.
Yeah. You know, what you guys do is what I tell a lot of young musicians that don't have a lot of responsibilities to do because they'll be I'll get hit up every once in a while like, "Hey, I'm 17, 18 years old, getting ready to graduate high school, and I want to make it in the music business. What should I do?" And I was like, I've every one of them I tell, "You're graduating high school, turning 18, what kind of financial responsibilities do you have?" That's the first question I always ask. And 9 times out of 10, it's oh, nothing. Like insurance, whatever, like whatever minor thing. I was
Mhm.
like, "You know what you do? Hit the road and just start playing open mics, playing wherever you can And then once you get to the point where you're either where you want to be or you're flat broke and you can't go anywhere else, then go back home and start over again, you know?
I love that.
So that, you know, it's one of those things where it's like, just make it happen. Like, I don't know. So I've always been a firm believer in that kind of philosophy of just get out there and do what you do, and you'll either make it or you won't. So,
I love that. I love that you share that with people. You know, I firmly believe in that too, and I think that's great advice to tell someone. Get out there and play music, and nowadays, you know, I'm trying to come up. I'm writing this sort of book, this concept, which is kind of like a call to action. I always thought of it as the art and science of busking. It was one thing that we talked about calling it, but
mhm.
I don't think that that's a good name for it because I don't think anyone knows what busking is, and I don't think the art and science of busking is interesting to anyone other than you and me, right?
Yeah.
But the other name I came up for it was how to make money as a musician in 2020, or
Mhm.
how to make money as a musician in a pandemic. And here's what I think. I think that we're seeing, you know, with politics, things are kind of crazy right now, right?
Yeah.
And so I think it's very important for everyone to remember the importance of art and music in our society. And so what my call to action for musicians is, I think that we can all go out to the road. I'm not saying doing anything illegal,
Mhm.
but I think we can all go out to a place like outside and wear a mask and play your music. If you want to play music, I think you could play your music and it will spread love and it will spread healing no matter what you do, where you do it. And the other thing is, if you do it at the right off ramp, you could also make a living doing it.
Yeah.
So, you know,
Yeah, absolutely. And you know, like the whole off ramp thing, just it made like when I first saw, and I've kind of put two and two together that that was an off ramp. It's like it just makes perfect sense because when you come off an off ramp, you're gonna have to stop, and you're more prone to stop at an off ramp than at any like normal intersection. So you know you're gonna have like a minute or two of time to give them entertainment or let them hear your tune. So are you when you're doing those the I guess we can call them the off ramp sessions.
off ramp sessions, yeah.
Yeah. Are you kind of tailoring your set to when there you know like the light's about to turn red or there's gonna be people by you, or do you just kind of play through and whatever happens happens?
Well, it's I love that you said that. It's all three. And I've been thinking about it for years and years. And it has to do with how long a light is. But like my brain is tapped into this light. We've been at this, I've had about 10 lights in my life that I've had deep love affairs with and spent a lot of time at. Our one light that we spend a lot of time, I'm tapped into it. I know when it turns yellow, I feel when it's red.
Yeah.
So I have lots of different ways to yeah, like we do it based on a car to car basis, and I'll assess the first car, because if we can crack the first car and there's 10 cars behind them, we have a good chance of cracking every single one like dominoes.
Hmm.
So it's all about cracking the first car, and we'll look at, say, the ethnicity, the type of car they're doing. So if it's an Armenian, we'll play the Armenian national anthem.
Yeah.
You know, if it's a hardworking Latin American, we might play La Cucaracha, or you know, we're
Yeah.
profiling people, you know,
Yeah.
you know, and we're playing our fiddle tunes. Or if it's someone in a Tesla, we might start playing some jazz. We
Nice.
might start playing some blues. So we're tailoring our, not only our set, but 10 minutes, or sorry, 10 seconds to 50 seconds to tops of around 2 minutes sometimes of music that could have 5 to 8 different little pieces within it, and
Yeah.
all weaving in and out as we walk. And I've been working to train the guys for years, so we all think now on the same level. It's cool.
Nice. Awesome. That's really cool. Like I was always kind of curious how you did it and like how you would tailor your set for something like that. And now that you kind of explain it, it's like, oh, yeah, that makes perfect sense. Um, so obviously during the pandemic, like in-person live shows haven't really been, I mean, obviously you've been doing the busking at the intersection at the off ramp, sorry. Um, have you been doing or well, nope, I already answered my own question because I saw yesterday you did your own like a more traditional live stream because you have a tendency to live stream some of your off-ramp sessions, which is
Yeah,
interesting because the car noise kind of gets in the way, but you know, it is.
it
But
does.
you've also do like more traditional like live streams, right?
Yes,
Yeah.
I'm glad that you mentioned that. Because kind of what we do as a band is like we're kind of trying to do something different. I mean, not necessarily trying to. We just are doing something different,
Yeah.
which is we're life casting.
Yeah.
I like documenting. We're never creating content. I don't ever like to create content. I cannot stand creating content. I just like to document what's going on around me. Because so I'm always trying to just document what's going on around, and a lot of times that becomes live casting. We're just hanging out, or we're doing this, we're jamming here. But we do have traditional, actual. Hey, we're gonna have a stream. We're gonna play some songs that you will know. Because a lot of the times when we're out on the street, we might play the blues in G for a bunch of hours and just morph it to the cars and go in and out of cultural songs and all that sort of thing. But we do have traditional sets, and I'm really glad you asked, because tomorrow there's a 48-hour bluegrass festival that the California Bluegrass Association with IBMA, the International Bluegrass Association, is putting on, and it's a who's who. It's got Bella Fleck, we got Del McCurry's band, some people from Sam Bush's band, Abigail Washburn, Sierra Hull, Cry Uncle, and we get to represent for Southern California. So that's tomorrow night at midnight, which is 3 a.m. your time, I think. So you'll probably be in bed, but bottom line is it starts at 5 p.m. PST tomorrow, and it's 48 hours of bluegrass, and it's
Nice.
awesome.
That's awesome. I know I told you, and I brought this up last time. Every year we do a bluegrass festival. We do media for a bluegrass festival down in the Keys. Unfortunately, this year we're not going to be able to make it due to COVID. They had to kind of shrink back a lot of the bands that they were going to bring in, and I was like, well, maybe we could still make it work. But I was looking at the lineup. It's like they're all bands that we've worked with a million times over. So it's like not that it's not special, but it's just kind of like I can pretty much call any one of these bands and be like, hey, you want to do it? So, but next year will be their 10-year anniversary, and I'm really excited about it. And I will have to check out the live stream, the 48-hour live stream, to see who's all on there. Actually, and you said you guys go on at midnight your time?
Yeah, midnight West Coast time tomorrow, which is Friday, and I mean it's gonna be fun. So we're staying up, and we're gonna do it in front of the green screen and everything. And speaking of green screen, we've been doing it. We're about to release a green screen music video any day now for the song we did called COVID Island. It's the third single from my rapper alter ego 182 Water.
Yeah.
And it was written by the internet, as in a show called Producing the Internet that we do, that Dre Drinker does, where people comment. We put on the beat that Tommy made and Dre made, and then people will comment, hey, this was about COVID Island, and people comment what they've been doing on their COVID Island. So this song was written collaboratively by a bunch of people on the internet, and it's really exciting for us to have other people. We don't have to do the writing then.
Yeah, absolutely. I was watching a video. Was it a video, or I was watching something the other day where somebody wrote a song or basically produced a song that was written by a auto completion, like through auto completion. So they'd like start the sentence like they had like the intro prompt on, like if you go into your text message or whatever on your iPhone, it'll have like your automated text or your guest text or whatever you want to call it. And they would write a song that way.
Wow.
It's just kind of like, I don't know how you made it work, but that's kind of interesting. And just like the new things you would get, or the new ideas, that would just come from like one small couple of groups of words to kind of get it going. But
wow, and that's really interesting too, because your phone has a bit of a psychographic profile of you.
Yep.
Because because you talk to it and it hears you, and the predictive text is based on some pretty robust AI. So actually, that's a really interesting way of interacting with machines. And I remember Jim Morrison of The Doors. There's him talking in the '60s about he believes the future of music is machines coming together with humans. And I remember this great Skrillex song where, speaking of dubstep, back to Kendra, where they have a Jim Morrison sample, and he worked with some of the surviving members of The Doors. Really cool.
Okay. That's awesome. So you mentioned your rap alter ego.
Yes, sir.
How long have you been kind of experimenting with the rap genre and been doing that?
Well, I'm glad you asked. I've been experimenting with the rap genre for my whole life. You know, the record that got me into it, I was in Singapore. It was 1996. I think I was 11, and All Eyes on Me, the double album Tupac, came
Nice.
out. And when I was in Singapore, that's Southeast Asia. I was there 7 years. It's illegal. This is illegal. Pornography is illegal. Profanity is illegal. This is legal. So I had to buy this on the DL from the CD people and all the Snoop Dogg records. And it was absolutely, I lived to listen to this rap music. And I
Yeah.
grew up absolutely loving all this stuff. So I've always felt like a rapper inside. And I've always loved the way that rappers move, you know, and Chris Brown, I like when he dances, Michael Jackson, all that sort of thing. I like the way they move, I like the way they dance. So I just sort of never had an outlet. You know, Water Tower didn't really feel like the right outlet to do it with because a lot of the Water Tower fans, they're here for bluegrass, they're here for country, they're here for good times like that. They don't want to necessarily rap and watch this white boy like get down. So I started 182 Water it was a total accident. It was Blackout Tuesday. I don't know if you remember that.
Okay.
And we were not going live that day because it was Blackout Tuesday. And
Yeah.
and then Tommy Dre Drinker, the guy I work with, was like, dude, because he had heard me rap Lottie Dottie at the end of one of my songs, Tequila with Lime. I'd always rap it at the end of our live sets, just that Snoop Dogg song. He's like, dude, I found this really cool beat. You should rap your Lottie Dottie thing too. Just like for fun, see what's up.
Yeah.
And so it was born on Blackout Tuesday, and just through his wonderful production, sort of coaxing, like he knew that was like a rap I was comfortable with, and he helped coax it out of me.
Mhm.
Very casual as a producer. He's a great producer because he was like, I was a little shy about being a rapper, you know what I mean? Because I've
Yeah.
always felt like that. So he was like, hey, why don't you just do this? I'm gonna walk to the other room and make some coffee, and just I'll press record. And when he pressed record, I did it in one take. I wasn't shy because it was so casual. He wasn't gonna be watching me, and I could. And all of a sudden he listened to it and he's like, yeah, this is it. And it helped my confidence there. And from now we're 3 singles in, and it was sort of born out of that. It was just an element of my personality that I always wanted to express, but I was shy to because people would say that I'm culturally appropriating, or people would call me racist, or people would say this or that. And I'm saying, ultimately, it doesn't matter what anyone says about me. Like, I know who I am and I need to do what I need to do. And so that's kind of what it represents for me.
Yeah, absolutely. That's all that matters as long as you're being authentic to yourself and not doing anything that you wouldn't normally do, like keep going, keep doing you.
Thank you. Thank
So I
you.
have a question. The All Eyes on Me vinyl, is that the original pressing or is that a reprint?
This is a reprint. This is a remaster. It's on 180 gram. It's heavy,
Yeah.
but this was remastered.
Okay. I was sitting there, I was like, dang, did he just pull out an original pressing on us and just like casually?
Just cash. No, I wish.
Like, yeah, and like I just saw like the how I mean, well, not pristine, but like in good condition the album was, and I was like, all right, that's just casual, cool.
Casual. No, I bought it on a CD when I was a kid.
Okay.
Although I watched my parents taught me how to do records. My mom taught me how to put the Beatles, Sgt. Peppers on
Yeah.
the turntable and everything. So I've always been into records.
Yeah. I'm really excited that vinyl is making a huge comeback, like in the biggest way.
Dude, I'm so glad you mentioned that because last year was a big year for vinyl. That's what I heard. And this album, you were asking how this album's doing. One of our amazing fans and Owl family members who actually has a really cool reviewing vinyl. He's a vinyl audiophile. He's addicted to vinyl. It's his thing. He's a YouTuber, and he reviewed our album. We became friends through that. He is organizing a GoFundMe for us to get this pressed on vinyl, and he's already raised $500 from people for us, a lot of whom are watching tonight. Thank you so much, everybody. And anyway, we're working on getting another $4,500 to get this pressed on vinyl. So it's really exciting.
Nice. That's awesome. I will have to, when we get off here, send me the link so I can make sure I get a vinyl. I love vinyl.
Yes, thank you.
I literally sit here. I'm in a weird position where I don't want to like I know I want to listen to it on vinyl, but I don't want to destroy the integrity of like the vinyl and I don't want to run the risk of scratching it. So like I've got all this vinyl sitting at the house that has never been opened. And so it's like, I want to listen to it, but I also want to keep it as pristine as possible because you never know. Like, if
Yeah, that's a good
20
point.
years from now it's like Water Tower wins like 20 Grammys or something, and it's like, look, I've got their original vinyl pristine right here.
That's a good point. I'll have to send you two copies then. One you can listen to, one you can save.
Guys, well, and I mean, my record player is one of those little suitcase Victrola things that they
Oh,
sell at like CVS, like you can get at the convenience stores and whatnot, but
yes, those
it's
are
fine. It
awesome.
does what I want it to do. So
There you go. That's all you need. You
yeah.
know,
And
I'm
so
glad.
do you have like a deadline on that, or is it just kind of whenever the goal gets filled and
Whenever
whatnot?
the goal gets filled, yeah, we're everything seems to. The cool thing about Water Tower time is it seems to happen on its own time.
Yeah.
Um, so I just trust in the process. Now the thing is, I put my seatbelt on because I realized that I'm in a self-driving car.
Yeah.
And I used to be trying to grab the wheel and be like, this way, and getting my will to where the car is supposed to go. But now that I trust where I'm going and who's got me and where I'm at, I don't have to worry about where the car's going or try to drive it anymore. So I can just relax and let the car drive me, metaphorically speaking.
Yeah, I gotcha. I gotcha. So are you guys working on new music right now, or where are you guys kind of at creatively?
Yeah, oh man, it's exciting. Creatively, every day is like a whole new foray. There's new music every day, and we're out busking this morning. Although I slept in, I wasn't feeling so great, just because I was tired and I wanted to make sure I was up and ready for this interview
Yeah.
tonight and stuff like that. So the guys went out and busked, and we're gonna go out and busk in the morning, and we're working on new songs. And so we write out there, and right now we're working on a cover for one of our fans who won the raffle, because we do raffles. We're like, hey, if you
Yeah.
share our live right now, that'll enter you into the raffle to get a video dedication from us. So right now we're working on a Rancid song, which we're going to dedicate to one of our
Oh,
fans on our YouTube channel.
nice. What song? Or
uh,
is it
Fall Back Down.
okay?
Yeah, it's from their Indestructible record. And so like we do little things like that to kind of help get back to our fans and keep everybody involved and just have a good time. And so yes, lots of new music constantly. And we're doing that 48-hour stream thing. And it's just an exciting world we live in right now with what social media has going on, and the family that we can build right here with each
Yeah,
other.
absolutely.
One other thing I wanted to show you is, look, one of our awesome tower ladies made a calendar for us. So
Oh, nice.
This is my calendar now for the year, and I need it, and she did lots of scenes from the year. It's
Nice.
just so sweet.
That's
And
awesome.
so, yeah, it's really cool. And it was one of the tower ladies actually who made this book for us. Who I was talking about. It says from the tower ladies with love, and there we are in Santa's lap. And then they just all really sweet messages from all the different tower ladies, and really awesome. So
Nice.
we're just so lucky to have awesome owls and tower ladies and tower dudes and everything.
That's cool. That's really cool. And I like the photo of Santa holding a photo of you guys. That is just the perfect touch.
Thank you. That's from OMG Photo on Instagram. It's OH_MG_photo. She does amazing photo work.
Nice. That's fun. And it's kind of funny because it's like, obviously during the year of COVID, you weren't actually going to go be able to sit on Santa's lap if that was something you were so inclined to do. But, that's just funny, man. That's so funny.
Yeah, we're so lucky, man. We have fans with a sense of humor, just like ours. We all get to laugh together at the crazy stuff that's going on and sing about it.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. So let's transition back to your rap music, because
Yes.
I'm really kind of interested in that. You said you're getting ready to drop a music video.
Yes.
Um,
COVID Island.
how do you have like an official date on that yet, or is it just kind of whenever it's done?
Well, it's done. It was the single dropped on Christmas Day. It was our Christmas present, COVID Island, and it's about being stuck in it. And so the video was a lot of our friends and fans who were dancing from their own COVID Island. So yes, the video's done now. It's been edited, and there's a bunch of different people in it dancing from their own COVID Island. And It should be out any day now. Any
Okay.
day now. So I'll make sure and send it your way because
Okay.
it's
Perfect.
done. So we're releasing it. Yeah.
Perfect.
Yeah.
I didn't, so it's just kind of whenever it releases at this point.
Yeah, yeah, we're trying to go. Yeah, it literally any day. Like we were talking about doing it today, but we weren't able to get together to make a plan. So I'm saying I'm gonna say next week Wednesday.
Okay. Fair point. Like, I mean, you're kind of the artist when you say I want to try and release it on a Wednesday, you know?
Yeah, it's we'll see if we can get out Wednesday. But it's it being doing a rap career has been so cool because I've been able to tap into a demographic that was just not possible through just one type of music. And so just to be able to reach another demographic through the music, a totally different style, and another element of myself because I love to dance and I love to sing, I love to rap, and so getting to put all these things together really is just a great way for me to express myself. And it's funny because I wasn't comfortable like with those certain aspects of my personality until I had 182 Water to be that part of myself. And now when we're recording, he's like, just be 182 in this. And I know exactly what he's talking about because 182 is a part of me, but it's not me, but it's a part of me and I can access it.
Yeah, I gotcha. How do you kind of balance 182 with Water Tower?
That's a good point. I mean, right? Because it's almost like Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde. I can flip between one or the other because like when I'll be playing with the guys, I'll be doing scratching out some hillbilly fiddle stuff like right. I play a lot of this thing, right? So like but then like the whole idea would be I might start crip walking and start knocking it like when people come by and they're busting some real loud rap music, I'll start crip walking and start making beats right here with them.
Yeah.
So just being able to, so that's like me switching into 182 mode. Like 182 still plays fiddle, but a lot of times he's not going to scratch out notes on it. He's going to be beatboxing with it.
Yeah.
And so it's just another element of my personality. But as far as balancing the work, I have time dedicated to be 182 and time dedicated for well, most of the times in Water Tower land, and 182 is part of it. But yeah, it's interesting.
Gotcha. So we're going to do something a little bit different.
Okay.
I'm going to ask you 12 rapid fire questions
All right.
and just answer with the first thing that pops in your head.
Okay.
And that's kind of it.
All right.
These questions are going to be really random and kind of range from just about anything.
Love it.
Okay. You ready?
Yes, sir.
Favorite board game?
Monopoly.
Favorite beverage?
Sun-kissed orange.
Window seat or aisle seat?
Aisle seat. I like a window seat.
How do you start your day?
Yoga.
Nice.
Meditation. Yeah.
One song you wish you wrote?
Free falling.
Ooh, I don't know if I can. We'll get to that. Typical morning or typical breakfast?
Smoothie, blueberry.
How do you take your coffee?
With a little bit of coffee mate and a little bit of sugar.
Nice. What is your kryptonite?
Ooh, my kryptonite, drugs and alcohol. That is my kryptonite. Whew.
And final question, plans for this weekend?
Music, constantly.
Perfect. Awesome. Okay, so back to Free Falling. It's not that I don't like that song. I'm not the biggest fan of Tom Petty.
Okay.
And so it's like that weird point where it's like I'm not a fan of Tom Petty, but I don't hate Free Falling.
That makes sense. No, I totally get you. I don't even know. It's so funny because that's not necessarily a song I would think like, man, I wish I wrote that. But for whatever reason, that's what came to my head. I do love that song, and I am a big Tom Petty fan. But it's not like I know all of his stuff. Like I only know his hits, and I know a couple others. So it's. But yeah, I do wish I wrote that song.
You know, it's just one of those things where it's like. When I was in movies, when I would do film production back a few years back when I was like really big into it, I'd sit there and watch these movies and be like, man, I wish I produced that movie. and it was always like not like your big blockbusters. It was always like little offshoots. Like for me, one of them was Mr. Holland's Opus was always a movie I thought wrote and produced, and then another one was like October Sky, which those two are like completely different movies and not like big blockbusters that a lot of people know. But you know, it's just one of those things where it's now that like I'm in the music business, it's like I wonder what are some songs that people wish they wrote that they connect with on that level, you know?
Yeah, I feel like that about like a lot of Rancid songs. I always talk about that, but I love all the Rancid songs, and I love the way they write, the way um, that's another thing.
Nice. Do you do you ever see time where Water Tower decides to do a full punk album, like bluegrass punk? Because there's a lot of similarities between like punk music and bluegrass music. Like you see a lot of bluegrass bands doing punk covers, so there's got to be something to it.
Yeah, I'm glad that you mentioned that. There's actually a couple. Yes, I do see us doing that. That's
Okay.
part of my dream, and yeah, I want to cover a couple albums in their entirety. One of my things when I did my first solo record in 2013, I covered My Bloody Valentine's seminal Loveless album from 1991, all
Nice.
acoustic version, and that was like my sort of first solo effort. But with Water Tower, I've always wanted to cover Blink 182's Enema of the State,
Okay.
Blink 182's Dude Ranch, but also then Rancid's and Out Come the Wolves in their entirety. And in a bluegrass sense, though, like the whole album done in a bluegrass punk sort of fashion.
Hmm.
And really any of them would do, but I have a very fond for those Blink and Rancid records.
Nice, nice. And then I don't want to take up too much more of your time. I want to be respectful
Oh
of your
man.
time. What's kind of the plan? Obviously 2020 kind of threw everything for a loop of what you originally had planned. Uh knowing that knowing that 2021 probably is going to be a lot more of the same. What's kind of your plans moving forward? Do you are you going to start going out and doing more of the busking touring? I know you'd mentioned something about or mentioned about coming out to Texas and hanging out with me for a bit, but like
Yep.
what's kind of the plan moving forward as you really start to kick off 2021?
Well, 2021, we're going to kick it off with laying low and hanging here and busking. We're continually busking as much as we can. We try to do it every day, but some days you can't. Um, but usually every day, some of us, some way, shape, or form, Water Towers out there representing on the streets to play music for ourselves and the people. But we will, I'd say, at some point in 2021, busk out your way.
Nice.
So I will make sure to be in touch. So even if we see you like Rapunzel, and we yell up and you got to let down your hair and just open the window, we'll play from you out there, or maybe we'll see you in Austin.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
Yeah. Austin's a cool place. I'd love to make that happen. It is what it is.
Yeah, yeah.
Um, but yeah. So I do want to end on one very polarizing question, possibly the most polarizing question I can ask
All
you.
right, I'm good at that.
What's your favorite pizza topping?
Oh, this is really gonna divide people. My favorite pizza topping, I do, I always go plain cheese, but if I
Okay.
had to have a topping, then I do basil.
Okay.
Yeah.
Nice.
Tough. It's tough to, that's like red or blue, man, left or right. That's
Hey, you know what? You didn't say pineapple, so you're okay in my book.
yes.
Which is actually usually how I phrase the question, but it was just like it's such a limiting question because you're only going to get a yes or no answer. Whereas now, if I ask, "What's your favorite pizza topping?" It opens up to so much more possibilities.
That's yeah, no, this is great. And when we come see you, now we know what kind of pizza not to bring up.
Yeah,
So
yeah, absolutely. But if people want to follow you online, where can they find you? Where can they find your music? All that fun stuff.
So my band, Water Tower Band, that's Instagram and Facebook, and my rapper alter ego, 182 Water. That's Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, for everything. It's the same all the way through. So I appreciate you spending this time with me. It means a lot to me, Tom. Thank you.
Yeah, absolutely. And whenever you got something new coming out or you just want to sit down and chat, let me know. Love to have you back on.
Thank you. And I want to have you on Altgrass, which is my one of my podcasts. Actually, I would want to have you on Hollywood Music Pulse, because Altgrass is the more like bluegrass one, and Hollywood Music Pulse is more for like anything else. A lot of times I'll have the rappers or the soul singers or the rock bands on there. But I think you would be perfect for Hollywood Music Pulse, and I would love to have you on that.
Awesome. Awesome. I could probably hold my own on a bluegrass podcast, but I don't know nearly enough to like, I like it's not my like I could talk about the time that I should have interviewed Billy Strings, but I didn't, because I didn't know who he was. Like we could have that conversation if you want.
That's already good. We'll have to have that conversation in the Hollywood Music Post too, because I do want to hear about that. Speaking of, one quick thing, I have a custom guitar being made for me right now, and I'm really excited because the guy who's making it, it's Thompson guitars, and they that's what Billy Strings plays. So they're making it's a bit hush hush, but he's got one coming, then mine, and then so I'm really excited. So I'll have a new guitar to show you soon, and it's got an extra big sound hole in honor of Tony Rice, in honor of Clarence White, because Tony Rice actually died last week. He's pretty much one of my biggest heroes in bluegrass, and he had Clarence White's guitar, which Clarence White had an extra big sound hole in the actual guitar, and so I think I have a Clarence White book right here with a picture. This is Clarence White. Look, we got the same hair right now. But this is like this is like a Bible to me. But his particular guitar went to Tony, and and my guitar is going to be in honor. So I'm really excited. And it's Thompson, who made great guitars, the Billy Strings connection. So that's funny. You didn't get to interview him though.
Well, no, it's not that I didn't get to. I was too chicken to go ask him to interview.
Gotcha.
But we can have that. We can have that conversation. We'll talk about that on your podcast. We'll got to save something for the other podcast.
Yes.
But yeah, once again, thank you so much for jumping on here and chatting. Anytime you want to come back on, you're more than welcome. Thank you everybody for tuning in, and we will catch you guys later.
Peace out.